If you haven't heard of Visual Studio, I'm hoping you have, but just in case you haven't, it's a ID. Sorry? Test, hello, hello. Well, that's really loud. Buttons pushed? Okay, cool. So the Visual Studio, it's a IDE, makes your life so much easier. It's like the ISE except on all kinds of illicit drugs. Probably not the best comparison though. However, there's a whole bunch of things you can do with our tools in Visual Studio. You can go and edit your stuff, run your stuff, debug your stuff, test your stuff with Pester with all the new support that was just announced this morning. You can actually remote session in and go and get those scripts, run those, and you integrate and automate Visual Studio itself. Yeah, at first it's starting to sound a little bit like, okay, you've got the ISE, and the ISE is great, but it's a lightweight scenario compared to what we've got in Visual Studio. So, who we are, why we're doing this. This project essentially started from the community. One of our MVPs, Adam Driscoll, unfortunately couldn't be here today, he started this project, and recently Microsoft has started heavily contributing. In addition, we also have a whole bunch of GitHub contributors, people who are running, testing, submitting pull requests. That could be you. We want you to help out. Everything that we do is on GitHub. All of our issue tracking, all of our builds, completely transparent. Now, here at Microsoft, we are the Visual Studio, the cloud platform tools. We are part of the Azure tooling group because Azure's, it's getting kind of big, and the cloud loves PowerShell. So here we are. So I'm Andre Sayer. Here in the front is Brian. Please buy him a beer or three. Hi, Brian. And now I would like to go straight to the demo because demos are awesome, and this microphone is really annoying me. Demo time. Demo. So here we've got Visual Studio, and you've got a little REPL window. You can do, hey, write host. Yes, I should be using write output, but this is a demo. Hello, and you've got your IntelliSense going. Hello. You've got your help. But now let's do something a little bit more interesting. See, I've already created a PowerShell Summit demo project. However, anybody can go create a new project. I'll actually show you what it looks like.
So can you just natively run PowerShell code in Visual Studio, or did you have a first step in that?
Sorry?
Can you just natively run PowerShell code within Visual Studio like that?
For the most part, yes. It's behind the scenes, we spawn another process and do it, but within the context of Visual Studio, you do not have to leave. You hit Control-Shift/ or select it from the menu, or debug, or here, I can show you if you go Alt File, New Project, all the way down here to PowerShell, and where's PowerShell? There it is. And you can create a project there. So anything that you want to do within standard PowerShell, we're working to make sure it works in Visual Studio. So here's my start here script. Okay, it's just a simple function. I'm not going to go and demo all the features of PowerShell and DSC because actually I'm sure you guys know it a lot better than I do, and it is all kinds of awesome. Okay, I'm just start off typing here, and we started to add some editor goodies, make life a little bit easier. If I can type, that is this file dot plus. Now I go here, we're keeping all the indentation for you. We've got all this lovely colorization. I'll scroll down and retype this for you so you can see, hey, we're actually going through and browsing my file system here. Demo stuff, yay. And I'm going to F5 so you can see, oh, we're actually running it. Hi. we've got our files, we've got length. This is just the example that's in the ISE for colorization testing. Now, the tools before Microsoft started getting involved, they're great, but they only supported 32-bit scenarios. So no DSC, no Office, no SharePoint. Our changes have fixed that. You get all of your lovely squiggles and errors in DSC. You get all of your standard IntelliSense, everything you could ever hope for in your editor. I will not run that for now because that's nothing terribly exciting. So, okay, very similar to ISE. What's next? So let's just start off here with oh yes.
Sorry, where are we getting this extension?
Huh? Oh, I will get to that because. Should I announce that? Actually, as of right now, the button has been pushed. It is on aka.ms/get-posh-tools. As of right now, it's on the Visual Studio Extension Gallery. You could also download it directly from GitHub. When build comes out next week and you've got new versions of Visual Studio 2015 and the update preview, it won't quite be in Visual Studio, but it'll be the next best thing. You cannot miss it. There'll be a redirection template, and I'll show that to you a little bit later in this presentation. So let's just say you have this incredibly long file. It's got a whole bunch of functions. You just forgot where you were. You lost track. You were writing at 3 in the morning. I've done that too many times. And you like Queen songs, but you wanted Mr. Brightside. So here, we just go, we can select all of these. These are updated in real time. Oh, hey, we are right here. I'm going to go back to my find directions function. There it is. And let's see now. Now, this is all within a PowerShell script project, which is good, but there are many other scenarios where you need PowerShell. When you're deploying out to Azure, when you're running something on your local machine, when you just want to make life easier for yourself. That's what PowerShell is for, right? So we have just a simple console application. Again, this could be anything. This is your deployment to Azure Resource Manager, deployment anywhere. We've got this lovely script here. And I have made the script to automate Visual Studio itself just a little bit. So if you're not familiar with Visual Studio, there's a root object. It's called the DTE object. If I bring up the IntelliSense, you can edit anything within the editor. Go, run, change, any command you could ever think of. I'm not going to type up an entire script for you there. I'll make it easier. Here's something simple, and right-click, execute a script, and away it goes. It'll output any C# documents that are currently open. I've got a whole bunch open. I'll close that out. We can come back to that in a little bit. But let's see. Let me go over to my debug example. Now, this is where Visual Studio starts to shine. The debugger is, I'd say it's the best in the world. Now, I'm a little bit biased, so. How about I show you? I will hit F5. And I've already set a breakpoint here. We'll hang out. We can inspect all the local variables and see as they change in real time. I'll just step over, blah, blah. You can go and hover. Oh, hey, I is currently 1, A is 1. This is some of our test code to show you that everything that you could ever dream of just mostly works.
I have a question.
Yes?
When you set a breakpoint in Visual Studio, is that equivalent to what PowerShell considers a breakpoint inside of its own internal debugger?
That's correct.
Question.
Oh, so the question was, are Visual Studio breakpoints essentially the same as the breakpoints that you can set in PowerShell? And the answer is yes. Depending on which version of PowerShell you're on, 3.0 or 4.0 and up, it will do things a little bit differently, but it's the exact same underlying mechanism.
So to rephrase the question, if I type UPS breakpoint into the parameters, the red dot will show up in Visual Studio?
The red dot will not show up in Visual Studio if you're typing it in at the moment, but that's a great suggestion, and I would encourage you to post on the GitHub. So right now it is limited. Oh, of course. The question was this extension. Where is it available? Can you run it on the Express SKU? Unfortunately, it can only run on Pro and Up and Community and Up. So there are solutions with the integrated shell, but they aren't officially supported. It is open source, and have at it. Oh, of course, aka.ms/get-posh-tools, P-O-S-H-T-O-O-L-S. You're quite welcome.
You can search in the gallery too.
Yeah, and you can also search in the Visual Studio extension gallery. So let's see, where's my mouse? Come back, mouse. So you can also go and view all the properties of your more complex objects. You can pin this if you just want to keep it around. Actually, I don't want to keep that around, that's annoying. Continue down. Any kinds of any kinds of functions. Now, we've defined this function add1. Again, on its own looks normal. However, I can hit F11. And it'll step into add1. This is inside a completely different file. This is inside our PSM1 file. And continue on, F10. Oh, here, let me scroll down here, and you can see where we are with X and Y and everything changing. 1 and 2. It's going to continue to be 1 and 2. 1, 2. And hit F11. Now, this goes on for a while. So I've already set a breakpoint within a add6 function. As you can guess, it's 6 layers down. Hit F5. And let's see. Oh, I want to view a call stack. Where are we here? What are all of our variables here at this stage? What about here? What about here? What about back where we were originally? Oh, I want to scroll up. What was R again? That was this, that, and the other thing. And I'll go back, I'll F10 again, and we'll continue along back up the stack. Oh, here's our interactive window. It is quite interactive. Here, $X, $Y, $, I cannot type. Continue on. Now, another feature that we recently added was it's equivalent to remote session support, but we've made it our own and added a couple niceties. I'm going to connect to one of my remote machines, the original ARM tablet. Andre say potato. There, we'll give this a moment for it to connect. Yo, yes, what's up?
Just going back to the debugging, can you set a breakpoint on when a variable changes?
The question was, can you set a breakpoint on when it changes? So at the moment, we cannot, but we do have a task open to handle that in GitHub. We have that on the hopeful backlog, as well as conditional breakpoints. There's a whole bunch of things that we can do and that we want to do. Let's see, what was that? Oh, it's on this monitor. Right, so. His password is something, something, something. Oops. Ah. Okay, now we'll actually let it connect. I forgot I have this giant weirdo screen here. Oh, so here we are. We have connected to Andre Say Potato. You can see that it's actually a real machine. I'm not, just changing the prompt on you. $$ in the computer name. Aha, we are connected to Andre Say Potato. What is in this directory? We've got this lovely example1.ps1. I think I kind of want to view it, and we're still improving this experience, but we are going to, this is going to look a little bit familiar. Example.ps1. So this is gone. This has downloaded the script automatically for you and open it up in the editor. Now, what's even better, I can go like this, set our breakpoint, and F5. It has to go over the wire, talk to wherever this VM lives in La La Land. And we have the same great debugging experience that you would expect on a local machine, except on a remote machine. Right host. And we've got hello from Andre Say Potato. That will not exit. Click. Now, before I continue on, I want to ask you guys, what do you want to see out of these tools? Because we've got our ideas, but I want to know what you guys think. That's why we're here. Yes.
The ability to go to a function definition. I don't know if it's Shift F12. If you highlight a function name that might be in a different module, being able to go to that definition.
F12?
Yeah.
Okay. That is an awesome feature that we want.
A console that you can pop out. I'd like be able to pop out the console into another window.
You mean like that?
Yeah, just like that.
All right, perfect. That was really easy. And any other easy ones or hard ones as well?
I have a question. Do you need more than one?
Not currently, but I'd like more than one. I seen it was a feature request for the ISE on Connect back in like 2011.
Does it have any of the refactor features?
Not yet. What type of refactoring are you looking for? More than just renaming?
Function name or parameter name.
Mhm.
Does it? Because if you use like C#, you can change some of that stuff and it'll go to your project and kind of redo it.
Yes. No, that would be all kinds of awesome. And we have the capability to do it. Yeah, definitely say all this stuff on GitHub as well, because I don't know, the more involvement that we see, it's like, hey, we see people who want this feature, we'll definitely work on that, because that's what you guys want. Simple as that. So let's see here, what can I do in this interactive?
Okay.
What up? Oh, yes.
Does it have any of the auto styling, like with C# it'll automatically adjust your spacing and your tabs and all of that?
We do have a little bit of that. Let me bring up an example. So we have a basic parentheses and brace completion. So it'd be like function, blah, or function, there, type once again. We also have a smart indentation, blah, 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 for each dollar foo in $bar. Press enter, and we've already indented it automatically for you. Yeah, it's a lot of these little things that make life easy. Yo.
Can it help us make forms so we can hand off dialogue over to our users?
So do you follow Adam on Twitter at all? Oh, it's funny that you asked that. So Adam, the MVP, is actually working on that very feature. He had just posted out to YouTube a form designer for PowerShell.
Can you tell them to hurry?
I'll make sure he gets the message.
You can log in and tell him.
Are you looking for like WinForm forms, XAML forms?
It's just something that I've had requests from some of our developers are like, hey, you know, if you gave me the PowerShell code, I could wrap it up in a nice dialog. It's something. Why is it so hard to do? So
Is it
it'd be nice to just build something really nice with just give me a text field and a button and
They just want UI.
yeah,
Yeah, you have a parameter catcher or data catcher or something like that.
something.
Yeah.
Cool. And we've got a little bit of time, so before I continue on with the PowerShell stuff, I wanted to stop being a multiple window. I wanted to sneak a couple moments and show you a little bit of the behind the scenes.
Can you auto-sign code on a file set?
I haven't done anything specific to that. If you can do it in PowerShell, you can in Visual Studio.
But you do it in both places.
Are you looking for something where it will automatically sign your PowerShell modules and scripts, or something else?
What he wants to be able to do is catch the save and then run a script on the save file.
If you can create a hook, and if you want to do it right now, you could create a hook on that lovely DTE object that I showed you, and then you can catch save events there. But that's good for you to make it. That's not a very user-friendly way to do that. So you're imagining something where, as Jeffrey said, you hit save and just automatically signs it.
Sapient can do that.
Okay, cool. Well, we will definitely look into that, and as well post on GitHub so everybody else can add their thoughts and votes and all that good stuff. Let's see. No, stop being noisy. So one of the nice things about being entirely on GitHub is that it forces our build process to be very, very simple, just internally. So if you do want to contribute, you just download our project with the Visual Studio SDK and just hit F5 and run. And life is nice. You don't have to worry about some magic build voodoo stuff. So in theory, I could added a feature in these couple minutes. So what's happening behind the scenes as you see the PowerShell host being initialized is that we are creating a whole nother process. This process that we created, which is a 64-bit process. Visual Studio is a 32-bit process, hence why the original iteration of these tools had this limitation. After we create that new process, any of the commands that we type into the REPL window, for example, all of the IntelliSense, it goes over the wire via standard inter-process communication. Little tiny peek behind the curtain because I think it's cool. Anyways, back to standard demo-y stuff. So here were some of the future plans, not promises, etc., that we were thinking of. We didn't want to poison the pool before we got a bunch of your ideas. So some of the stuff that we want to do F12, the go-to definition. We want to have script formatting and refactoring. And we're also looking at remote, some of the new PowerShell v5 features around remote debugging, where you can attach to an existing PowerShell script, which is already running. And for those who are creating their commandlets in C# or VB.NET, so mixed mode debugging, so you can just F11 straight into your C# code, for example. And we're also looking at a improved interactive, yes?
Oh, sorry, this might have even been in there already. Is snippets available in there, like in the ISE?
Not yet, no. But so we are currently looking into that. The same type of ISE snippets, or what other
Yeah,
types
just
of
like,
snippets?
right click and you can say, start snippets. I'm going to do an advanced function, and it spits out all of the, like kind of like a nice framework to go off of, just to save some type.
Visual Studio's got snippet support. We haven't implemented it for PowerShell yet, but that'd definitely be a good feature to have. We've actually had a number of requests from folk on easy ways to just get started, things like snippets and potentially some DSC templates, hello world type of scenarios. Let's see, we also have on the backlog an improved interactive experience, so that way we can match the PowerShell ISE and PowerShell console. Things like profile support and color in the REPL window, because I really want to be able to use PoshGit within Visual Studio. So originally we were going to plan to announce it at this moment, but we did about 15 minutes earlier. The acquisition is you go to that link and download it. It's just a v6. Yes, you do need admin permissions, but after you download, you just launch Visual Studio and you've got it. If you don't, after people who get later version of Visual Studio, they'll get one of these lovely notifications. So if they open up a PowerShell file and they don't have our tools, hey, PowerShell tools are now available. You should go get them. Even if they didn't open one, they'll get that little flag and a notification, hey, you should go get PowerShell tools. And inside the new project dialog, we tell them to go get the PowerShell tools. We're being obnoxious about it in the best of ways. And let's see, that's the end of all of the demos. And do you guys have any other questions? Yes?
What are the performance implications of executing interactive in Visual Studio as opposed to direct from PowerShell?
So the question was, what are the performance implications about us doing it in essentially out of process as part of this Visual Studio chain instead of in PowerShell itself? From the actual script perspective, you're not getting any performance hit outside of just running it in, if you might run it as 64-bit versus 32-bit. In an interactive type of session, there will be a small, but nothing that we've noticed the human to be able to notice, latency, just because it has to do additional processing going to and from. We've done quite a bit of work around making sure the editor is very responsive. Oh, go for it.
So you mentioned which editions of Visual Studio the extension will work with, but what versions of Visual Studio is it compatible back to, like 2012, 2010, that sort of thing?
Right now, it is currently supported on Visual. Oh, right. So I keep forgetting that. I need like a little sign or a blinker. We could have used that whiteboard thingy. So the question was, what versions of Visual Studio is it supported on? Like Visual Studio 2013, 2015, and so forth. Of course, we're going to support 2015. It hasn't come out yet completely. It's going to support 2013. Internally, we call it Dev 12. There have been some requests to support Visual Studio 2000 and 2012, or Dev 11, because I cannot keep track of the mapping in my head. Right now, it does not work out of the box on Visual Studio 2000 and 2012, but Adam is actually investigating as we speak to see if it's feasible. Are you tied to a current version?
One of my clients were using 2008.
2008.
It all depends the environment that I'm working in, but in-house I'm on 2012.
Okay. Chances of it going back to 2008 are kind of slim.
I won't hold my breath.
But you could go to GitHub and make it work on 2008 if you wanted to.
So, not debugging is built on top of PowerShell debugging. So, what if when the next version of development comes out, development preview, with new functionality, what does it take to integrate with the Visual Studio?
The question was, when new debugging features in PowerShell light up, like with version 5, will they automatically light up within our tools? And the answer to that is it depends. For some of the new features, such as the remote debugging or attached to a currently running script, we're going to need to add some new functionality. For anything that, like things like bug fixes or things that currently hook into the existing PowerShell run, edit, breakpoints, those will just work automatically. We currently support, PowerShell v3 and up, so we need to make sure that works and all versions going forward. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah.
So deploying to Azure, that type of stuff, that's built into Visual Studio, like for other Visual Studio projects?
Brian, you look like you wanted to comment, or do you want?
What was the question?
So deploying to Azure and other stuff with PowerShell, is that going to be there as well, just like with other Visual Studio projects?
So the question was, can you deploy to other Azure projects using the PowerShell stuff? Is that correct? So for things like the Azure Resource Manager tools, it creates a PowerShell deployment script within Visual Studio. You right-click, deploy, and it runs the script just as if you ran it from the command line. So if there's a PowerShell script generated which deploys, then yep, automatically. That was actually one of the main scenarios that we were targeting. Cool. And unless anybody has any other questions, here is the latest chunk of information. You can go get the latest on the gallery, or go and check out our GitHub, because we want you guys to contribute, and it'll be awesome and cool, and we're gonna show the rest of Microsoft how to do open source. Cool. Button. Is it off? Is it dead?